Viewing of the following broadcast has been deemed mandatory by the Ministry of Truth. Deviations in concentration will be considered acts of treason. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Zero and you're watching The Lost Perspective. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, it does help out a lot, and if you want to see more Let's Talk Warbonds, go ahead and subscribe, as I will be covering all Warbonds, past, present, and future. With the generic YouTuber stuff out of the way, let's get it. On page 1, we have Exosuit pattern, Hellpod pattern, a new booster, 100 super credits, and a new primary weapon. The inconspicuous black Hellpod and shuttle patterns. The Dead Sprint booster allows Helldivers to keep sprinting even when they're out of stamina, draining their health instead. Now, I'm going to get a little flack for saying this because I think this booster is a little bit overrated. Hear me out. So if you have Dead Sprint and you need to keep sprinting after you run out of stamina, you'll start to lose health, which means you'll then have to pop a stem to restore the lost health. But if you're out of stamina and you don't have this booster and you need to keep running, you can just pop a stem as they also restore your stamina. So it seems to me that whether or not you have this booster, you still have to use a stem, so I don't really see how it's that useful. Now, I know someone's gonna say, but Zero, what if I'm out of stems and stamina? Surely it would be helpful in that situation. Yes, you are correct. It might save you in that situation, but now you have a new problem on your hands because you don't have full health and you don't have any stems. Your chances of survival just went right out the window, and you're probably gonna die anyways. Best case scenario, the resupply is ready and you can stay in cover long enough for it to get to you. But that's not always going to be the case, so I can't really recommend this over the health, stamina, and experimental infusion boosters, which are kind of the big three. This does leave the 4th slot as a wild card, so you could bring Dead Sprint if you want, but I would recommend Hellpod Space Optimization or Armed Resupply Pods, perhaps the Muscle Enhancement if you're on a planet with extreme weather conditions. The SG-20 Halt is a light, also medium armor pen shotgun, wait what? Described as a humane compliance weapon with 2 separate magazine tubes, one for armor-piercing flechettes and the other for stun rounds. Oh, now that makes sense. Now, I'll be honest, I mainly just use the flechettes, as switching back and forth, which needs to be done manually, is kind of a pain in the heat of combat. Not to mention, both tubes need to be reloaded separately. So, in my hands, it's just a medium armor pen shotgun with only 8 shells that needs constant reloading. It functions how you think it would most of the time, but the spread can be inconsistent and unreliable. Really makes you wonder why they opted to put a scope on this thing instead of a red dot or just standard iron sights. It's not my favorite, and I don't see a lot of other people using it either. I think you're better off with an incendiary shotgun, but the Halt can be effective. On page 2, we have Armor, Helmet, Cape, Player Card, Shuttle Pattern, 100 super credits, and a new primary submachine gun. UF-50 Bloodhound is a medium armor with the unflinching armor passive. Helps prevent Helldivers from flinching when hit. So if you're tired of stray bullets messing up your aim, this is the armor for you. I really dig the red and black color scheme on this too. And the helmet it comes with is, red as well. Pride of the Whistleblower, Cape, and Player Card. If you enjoy the red and black color scheme on the armor, you'll love these too. The inconspicuous black shuttle pattern, and the SMG-32 Reprimand is a heavy-duty submachine gun that fires large caliber rounds. A commenter pointed out recently that the shells ejected from this thing are identical to the shells ejected from the Verdict, meaning it's also likely chambered in the 14mm cartridge. This is further supported by the fact that they both deal the same 125 damage. So, as you'd expect, this thing is kind of a primary Verdict with larger magazines and a red dot sight, as well as full auto and burst fire capabilities. The Reprimand seems to be loosely based on the Heckler & Koch, or H&K for short, UMP-45. It even has the famous H&K slap during the full reload animation.
Calling in a hell bomb!
Which is appropriate, as I think this gun slaps. It's not the best gun in the game or anything, but it's the only SMG I ever bring anymore. As always, let me know what you guys think about the Reprimand down in the comments. On page 3, we have Armor, Helmet, Cape, Title, Emote, 100 super credits, and a new secondary weapon. The UF-16 Inspector is a light armor with the unflinching armor passive. Arrowhead, you make one of the armor sets in Polar Patriots blue and orange, which makes no sense for the snow, but the cop armor is white. I have questions. Anyway, the armor looks pretty good. I don't think the unflinching passive is as useful on light armor, but it is nice to have the option. And the helmet it comes with has a pretty unique look. I love that Super Earth emblem on the forehead. Proof of Faultless Virtue, cape and player card. I do think the player card looks nice, but the cape seems faded, like it's been sitting out in the sun for too long. Anyone else getting that feeling? Here's the title. It's one of my favorites. The Addy's emote. And finally, the PLAS, or Plas-15 Loyalist, is a medium armor pen plasma pistol that allows each shot to be charged up to fire an explosive projectile. Holy crap, they made a handheld purifier. If you've seen my Polar Patriots video, you already know how great the purifier is now that it's been buffed. The Loyalist, being a handheld version, isn't quite as powerful. It has about half the magazine size, but otherwise functions the same. With that said, just like the Purifier, the Loyalist does have the explosive weapon trait on the armory page, but this is just AoE damage. It does not close bug holes, blow up bot fabricators, or take out Illumina chips. Understand, I'm not knocking this weapon, this is just a heads up for new players. Overall, I think the Loyalist is a pretty decent sidearm. Definitely give it a try if you haven't already. And that's Truth Enforcers. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching the entire video. Please report anyone who left mid-viewing to your friendly neighborhood Truth Enforcer for processing. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like, and if you want to see more Let's Talk Warbonds as well as other gaming content, go ahead and subscribe. You folks have a great day, and remember always, democracy protects.